I'm really excited for this new beginning and to build something from the ground up here with the Valkyries.
As the WNBA undergoes its first expansion in nearly 20 years, the Golden State Valkyries step onto the scene, poised to make a significant impact. Kate Martin makes her much-anticipated return to the court, now proudly wearing the new franchise's jersey and shouldering immense expectations. Unfortunately, A'ja Wilson is displeased with this development and appears to hold resentment toward Kate, viewing her actions as a betrayal.
Yeah, honestly, my focus has just been getting better. I mean, all around. I had a decent rookie season, but I just know something that's really cool about me is that my ceiling is very high.
Meanwhile, reigning MVP A'ja Wilson is feeling increasing pressure as she watches rivals and newcomers aggressively enhance their game. With Caitlin Clark already emerging as the next major star, brace yourself for a season that promises a true transformation on the court. Envision the scenario after many years without a significant shift. The WNBA is finally undergoing a substantial expansion. The last time something of this magnitude occurred was nearly 2 decades ago, and now the Golden State Valkyries are stepping into the league with all the fanfare and excitement.
I have a lot of room to grow. Always working on my shot, always working on being quicker, but
behind the scenes, analysts, players, and fans were restless, eagerly speculating about the names selected in the WNBA expansion draft. Amid corridor whispers, leaked information, and bold assumptions, one name stood out: Kate Martin, officially chosen by the Golden State Valkyries. Her acquisition is poised to shift the league's power dynamics, directly impacting established stars like current MVP A'ja Wilson. With the Valkyries entering the league amidst the first major expansion in nearly 2 decades, Kate Martin becomes a central figure for the ambitious new franchise. Her presence not only energizes the already massive fan base, but also signifies the Valkyries' intent to make a significant mark. This move heightens the competition for A'ja Wilson, who now faces intensified pressure from new teams, emerging talents, and the rising star Caitlin Clark, who is quickly becoming a top contender for the MVP title. The upcoming season is set to be transformative, with the WNBA experiencing a true revolution on the court. The Golden State Valkyries, backed by Kate Martin, are ready to challenge the status quo, while the Indiana Fever are meticulously rebuilding to reclaim their prominence. This creates a multifaceted threat landscape for Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces as they navigate not only traditional rivals, but also fresh talent eager to ascend. Caitlin Clark's emergence adds another layer of excitement and tension. Her offensive prowess, court vision, and magnetic personality position her as a formidable rival to Wilson, potentially leading to a fierce MVP showdown. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever, despite losing some players in the expansion draft, are strategically assembling a team hungry for victory, ensuring that the competition remains fierce and unpredictable. As the WNBA grows with new teams and rising stars, the stage is set for a season filled with tight confrontations, strategic trades, and intense behind-the-scenes maneuvers. The clash between the Golden State Valkyries, Indiana Fever, Las Vegas Aces, and standout players like A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark will define the league's future. Fans can look forward to thrilling matchups and the rise of new legends as the WNBA continues to evolve. The central question remains: who will emerge victorious as the league undergoes these profound transformations? Will Kate Martin lead the Valkyries to success and become their iconic face? Can the Indiana Fever reinvent themselves and challenge the established powerhouses? And will A'ja Wilson maintain her MVP status against the rising threat of Caitlin Clark? These answers will unfold on the court, making the upcoming season one of the most exciting and pivotal in WNBA history.
Shaq went on Angel Reese's podcast this week and shared his billion-dollar idea for the WNBA.
In the next few minutes, you'll witness the moment that rattled women's basketball to its foundation. We have Shaq, Angel Reese, and a whole lot of uncomfortable truths to unpack.
Bro, a pretty girl dunking on the rim, I'm watching that all the time. You laughing.
A man is not turned on by no woman that's dunking.
It ain't about being turned on. It's about seeing stuff that you're not supposed to see.
Here's what's ahead. We'll reveal the exact words from Shaq that made Angel uncomfortable, showcase the statistics that support his claims, and explain why this one conversation could potentially alter the future of the WNBA. Stay tuned, because this is going to be intriguing. Shaq just dropped a truth bomb that has the entire basketball world buzzing. We're talking about a 4-time NBA champion, a Hall of Famer, and a business mogul worth over $400 million. When Shaq talks, people pay attention, and he certainly had a lot to say about the WNBA. Picture this: Shaq sitting there, calm and collected, as he discusses ways to make the WNBA more exciting. His suggestion? Lower the rims. Let's roll the first clip.
And women's beach volleyball, let's just say that the net is 10. For women, it's lower just a little bit. I'm not saying lower it to 9, 5, 9, 6, but just 9, 9.
Just so we can dunk?
Yes. No, see? And
I hate when men say that.
But listen, that's the only difference.
People always disrespect women regardless. They're always going to not give us the same value as a man. So I just don't even think that.
And that's why you got to do what you've been doing. Go take the
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if you lower that thing to 9.
And what's going to happen? All right, tell me, the money going to go through the roof?
Yeah.
Not all the way down to the ground, of course, but just enough to change the game. He's suggesting lowering the rim to about 8 to 10 feet below the standard height. Why? So we can see some dunks naturally. You might think that doesn't sound too bad, but here's where it gets interesting. Sitting right across from Shaq, Angel Reese isn't on board with that idea. She fires back, making some compelling points about respecting women's basketball.
I feel like it still wouldn't be good enough. It's never good enough for a man. People always disrespect women regardless. They're always going to not give us the same value as a man. So I just don't even think that.
She then addressed the issue of people not tuning in to watch the game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if you lower that thing to 9.
And what's going to happen? All right, tell me, the money going to go through the roof?
Yeah.
We don't even have the people don't even watch the game.
You can feel the tension rising as Angel contends that lowering the rim is outright disrespectful to female players. But Shaq wasn't finished. He delivered a real knockout punch.
We don't even have the people don't even watch the game.
Because I don't want to use the B word. Unless it's certain people playing. It's like you're watching like a high school game.
He looked Angel in the eye and compared the WNBA to high school basketball. Yes, you heard that correctly. Shaq stated, and I quote, "It's like you're watching a high school game." Can you imagine the collective gasp from WNBA players everywhere? Let's break this down for a moment. Shaq, one of the most dominant players in NBA history, just suggested that the highest level of women's professional basketball is comparable to high school boys' games. That's not merely a critique. It's a full-blown slam dunk of criticism.
Shaq, he was trying to teach Angel Reese how to make the WNBA more entertaining. So people might actually watch the product. And Shaq is qualified to do so. During his NBA career, the dude was a brilliant marketer. He knew how to be entertaining while also being dominant on the court. There was a reason that every member of the media was waiting by Shaq's locker after games. They knew he would deliver the best sound bites. They knew he would give the most entertaining interview.
You might be curious about how this will unfold. On one side, there are people agreeing with Shaq, believing he's just voicing what many have been thinking. They argue that if the WNBA wants to attract more viewers and generate more excitement, then something needs to change.
Angel Reese, just because a man is criticizing your league, it does not mean he is disrespecting women. This is the entitlement I always talk about. Angel Reese and her colleagues in the WNBA, they have this false sense of entitlement that makes them believe that they are above being criticized. Anytime they are criticized, they want to play the victim. Men don't respect women. Oh yeah?
On the flip side, there's a large group of upset fans and players who believe Shaq's comments are disrespectful and outdated, arguing that his approach is misguided.
This is a place where players can come and get better and be surrounded by an organization that supports you. They're going to have everything they need to be successful. So
the Indiana Fever are about to make a huge move in WNBA history. They're not just aiming for one star player, not even two. They're targeting 10 game-changing free agents who could make them serious title contenders. You might be wondering, how can they afford all that talent? Well, that's where you're mistaken. The Fever have a secret weapon, Kelly Krauskopf. She's back with the team this year, and she's got a bold vision. Kelly's not here to play it safe. She's here to get things done.
I know the free agent situation in the WNBA, but Are you in a position where you can add some pieces?
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position, and I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.
With her vast network and resources, Kelly is determined to make Indiana the hottest spot in the WNBA. Her strategy is bold, and it's already catching everyone's attention. You won't believe the plans she has in store to turn the Fever into a true powerhouse. You know that moment in a movie when the two main characters finally join forces, and you just know you're about to see something incredible? That's the vibe right now, because Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are about to team up for the Indiana Fever.
Good thing for women's basketball. I'm playing alongside this kid, so it makes everything, a little bit more dramatic, and like the people are coming out to see this person. So we just do what we can. We embrace it. I'm pretty sure our organization can feed off of it.
Let's take a moment to focus on Kelsey Mitchell. Did you know she averaged 19.2 points per game last season? That's not just impressive. That's all-star caliber. And it's not like she had just a few good nights either. After the Olympic break, Mitchell went on a scoring spree, putting up 20 or more points in 7 straight games. Imagine trying to guard someone that reliable. Now, think about Mitchell teaming up with Caitlin Clark. We're talking about two of the top shooters in the game coming together. How are defenses supposed to handle that? Clark's college numbers are through the roof, and her knack for setting up her teammates is incredible. With Clark's playmaking skills and Mitchell's scoring, this could be the most exciting backcourt the WNBA has ever seen.
Because Kelsey Mitchell said basketball is a language and you have to get on the same page. Me and Caitlin like to play fast and up-tempo, and I'm always going to align based on how she's playing and how she's going.
Here's where things get really interesting. Kelsey Mitchell is a free agent right now. The Fever have to re-sign her, right? But at what price? We're talking about a player who has been the heart and soul of the team. Even the Fever's president said they wouldn't be where they are today without her. That kind of praise doesn't come cheap. So, let's break down what it might actually take to keep Mitchell in Indiana. Spoiler alert, it's a hefty sum. We're talking about a Supermax qualifying offer of around $250,000. That's a big investment, but can the Fever really afford to let Mitchell go?
Look, we're going to evaluate everything and have those types of discussions with her.
Here's the thing. It's not only about the money, it's about building a championship caliber team. That's where Caitlin Clark comes into play. Bringing her on board isn't just about her own skills. It's about how she can make everyone around her better, especially a scorer like Mitchell.
But all signs point to her returning, including her and Clark attending the Pacers and Grizzlies game.
You might be wondering if these two can really work together. Won't they end up competing for shots? But that's the best part. Clark isn't just a scorer. She's a true playmaker, and Mitchell has already proven she can thrive alongside other star guards. This isn't about two players battling for the spotlight. It's about two stars joining forces to create something that's even better than what they could achieve individually.
Kelsey Mitchell has been an all-star, but she had the stage, the bright lights, and everybody could see what kind of bucket getter she is. Plus, Caitlin draws the defense. Kelsey gets to go one-on-one and put her skills on display.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills.
So I don't know if she's complaining or just stating
Angel Reese faced heavy criticism from experts after her recent complaints about her WNBA salary not being enough to cover her rent. Apparently, she's struggling on her $73,000 salary, claiming it doesn't stretch far enough to pay for her extravagant $8,000 monthly rent, as if she's living paycheck to paycheck.
I am sympathetic to that, but yeah, sports needs villains. I don't have a problem with it. She makes the WNBA more interesting.
Reese, regarded as the league's most pampered player, appears to believe she deserves a salary increase, especially since it's been a while since she found herself in another scandal. And now, it looks like we're back to the same situation again.
Number one complaint this offseason in the WNBA would be the incessant whining about their minimum wage salaries. I mean, who could have possibly...
What exactly are you asking for more money for, Angel? You played less than 10 games this season, while Caitlin Clark put in the effort through 38. You're attracting a crowd of 7,000 fans per game.
I am sympathetic to that, but yeah, sports needs villains. I don't have a problem with it. She makes the WNBA more interesting.
And somehow, you expect to earn paychecks on the level of LeBron James? Let's be honest, it seems like you're more focused on your image than the game itself. Angel Reese, who calls herself the face of the WNBA, is acting as if life is incredibly unfair to her. She's making a WNBA salary of $73,439, but still has the audacity to complain that it doesn't cover her $8,000 monthly rent.
Now these complaints are coming from the star.
That's right. She's living in a place that costs $96,000 a year, and then wonders why her finances don't make sense. I mean, how out of touch can you be? It's almost like she's forgotten basic math. Spending $8,000 a month isn't just rent, it's a lifestyle choice. The average person in Chicago, where rent is around $2,000, would be laughing in disbelief at these complaints. Most people can't afford to spend their entire paycheck on a luxury apartment and then complain about it. Yet here, we have Angel Reese playing the victim while the rest of the WNBA is out there hustling just to get by. The audacity is off the charts.
Hand pays them bills, baby. I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Literally. I'm trying to think of like my rent for where I stay at.
Let's not even dive into her financial choices. With all the money she's making from endorsements, sponsorships, and her podcast, you'd think she would realize that renting an overpriced place isn't the smartest decision. But instead of making wise financial moves, like buying a house or investing, she seems to be spending money faster than most people can earn it. What's her plan exactly? Is she just waiting for a magic fairy to come and solve her problems?
I don't even know what salary. Does it really? You don't even... Yo! I'm living beyond my means! It's like...
It's both hilarious and sad at the same time. She's in a position to be a real role model for her fellow WNBA players, many of whom are genuinely struggling to make a decent living. They don't have million-dollar endorsement deals rolling in. They rely on their league salaries and are barely scraping by. Yet here's Reese complaining about rent as if she isn't surrounded by cash from every angle. It's insulting to everyone in the league who is truly fighting to stay afloat.
Complaint this offseason in the WNBA would be the incessant whining about their minimum wage salaries.
A'ja Wilson 1, Nafisa Collier 2, Sabrina Ionescu 3, Brianna Stewart 4, Alyssa Thomas 5, and honorable mentions, Caitlin Clark.
Did you catch the latest WNBA bombshell? Caitlin Clark, the rookie powerhouse who's been dominating the courts and shattering records all season, has been shockingly left out of the top MVP conversation. But here's where it gets even more explosive. A'ja Wilson, the current MVP, is furious. Why? Because fans and analysts are increasingly saying that Clark's incredible performance deserves the MVP title more than her. How did Clark, with her standout stats and game-changing impact, get sidelined like this? The controversy is igniting intense debates across the basketball community.
She is leading the WNBA in points generated, which means points scored and or points assisted on. She is leading the league by a significant margin, and she is doing this as a rookie with a Fever team that is not comprised of a bunch of all-stars.
Let's dive into the MVP rankings that are making big waves in the WNBA. Leading the pack is A'ja Wilson, confidently holding the top spot.
There's no debating it. If you even talk about MVP, you have to be like, well, of course A'ja Wilson's running away with it. Like, you cannot even have any kind of constructive conversation around MVP unless you preface it by saying, well, I already know that A'ja Wilson won. Like, that's the standard.
Coming in hot at number 2 is Napheesa Collier from the Minnesota Lynx. Every time she steps onto the court, she takes full command of the game, leaving a massive impact on both her team and the opposition. Quiet yet lethal, Collier consistently asserts her dominance, making it impossible to ignore her formidable presence.
And Napheesa can take over the game at any point in time. We've seen her do this on multiple occasions.
Sabrina Ionescu is stubbornly holding on to the 3rd spot, even though some argue she doesn't quite deserve it. Behind her, Breanna Stewart and Alyssa Thomas secure their places in the top 5. But here's the real surprise. Where is Caitlin Clark? The rookie sensation who's been setting the league ablaze with her incredible performances is completely absent from the top 5. Unbelievable, right?
Getting to the honorable mention, they have Caitlin Clark.
You might think there's been a mix-up, but nope. That's exactly how the MVP rankings stand today. Their website even spotlighted Caitlin Clark with this statement.
While the Fever underwent understandable woes in the first month of the season, Indiana is 14-6 over their last 20 games, including 2 massive wins coming out of the All-Star break. Clark has found a synergy with her teammates and elite comfort on the floor as a facilitator and creator. She's knocking on the door of first-team All-W and top 5 finish in MVP voting.
Did you hear that? Caitlin Clark is just knocking on the MVP door? Not quite. Clark isn't merely knocking, she should already have a seat at the top. In fact, Caitlin Clark undeniably deserves a spot in the top 3 MVP contenders, alongside A'ja Wilson and Napheesa Collier, and the numbers leave no room for doubt.
Look at their stats. A'ja wipes the floor with both of them. The only categories that she doesn't have are assists, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage. Caitlin has all of those. She is tied for steals with Napheesa.
Let's be honest, A'ja Wilson was outstanding, no doubt. But rookie Caitlin Clark has outshined her in crucial areas like assists, free throw percentages, and 3-pointers, even setting the assist record. Clark's on-court impact is undeniable, proving she's anything but average. So why is she being overlooked? It's got everyone puzzled. Some say it's because she's a rookie and the league prefers established stars. Others argue that individual stats don't capture the whole picture. This snub hasn't gone unnoticed. The debate is heating up, with voices like Rachel Demita criticizing the WNBA's MVP selection process. Demita points out that every time Clark elevates her game, the bar for her recognition keeps rising, making it harder for her to secure the MVP title she clearly deserves. Historically, only one rookie, Candace Parker in 2008, has ever won the MVP award. It feels like there's an unwritten rule against first-year players being the most valuable. But why? Are rookies seen as too inexperienced, or is there a bias towards veterans? Clark is challenging this by excelling not just as a rookie, but across multiple facets of the game. As Skip Bayless put it, nobody in the league can flick logo threes as effortlessly as Caitlin can. Clark is now pushing A'ja Wilson for the MVP crown with her exceptional ability to control the game. While Wilson has secured back-to-back championships with a star-studded team, Clark is transforming the Indiana Fever. Before the All-Star break, the Fever were struggling with a 13-27 record. After the break, they flipped the script with a 14-6 run, thanks to Clark's leadership and stellar performances. She's not just scoring, she's elevating her entire team, leading them to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. When comparing Clark to Candace Parker, Clark is already surpassing Parker's rookie stats in assists, steals, three-pointers, and free throw percentage. Her all-around game is setting new standards, proving she's a game changer. Her impact on the Fever is clear, turning a struggling team into one of the league's hottest. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson shines on a team loaded with Team USA players and multiple All-Stars, making her achievements impressive but also supported by a strong roster. In contrast, Clark excels without the same level of star support, highlighting her individual value. The MVP debate in the WNBA is intensifying. Should the award go to the player with the best stats, the one who drives their team's success, or the one who's revolutionizing the game? Clark's season is forcing us to rethink traditional MVP criteria, blending individual excellence with transformative team impact. Caitlin Clark's rise is more than a rookie story, it's a revolution in the WNBA. As she continues to dominate and elevate her team, the question remains, is it time to break down old barriers and recognize the true value players like Clark bring to the league? The MVP conversation isn't over, and Clark is right at the center, challenging us to redefine what it means to be the most valuable player. What do you think? Should the MVP go to the player with the best stats, the one who boosts their team's success, or the one who's redefining the game?
The reality is that, as from a marketing perspective, Caitlin Clark is worth more than almost any pro basketball player in the world. If we're like purely talking about giving them money for endorsement deals.
Today, we're diving into the real story behind Caitlin Clark's wealth. Her WNBA salary? Just the tip of the iceberg. Discover how she's cashing in big with speaking gigs that outpace her on-court earnings. The game-changing impact of her endorsements with State Farm and Wilson, and why her Nike deal could spark some serious drama. Let's break it all down.
Which was mental. Which was absolutely mental.
Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Caitlin Clark is poised to become the next powerhouse in sports marketing, and why some top brands might be kicking themselves for not jumping on board sooner.
Higher than the NBA. So I was like, oh, what's she gonna get paid? Because finally, you can get a real paycheck. And then I saw it and I was like, this can't be right. Because this is what it is. In the first year, Caitlin Clark will earn $76,535.
Can you believe that Caitlin Clark, the basketball sensation electrifying the courts, is set to earn a mere $76,535 in her rookie WNBA season? That's less than many entry-level office positions. When compared to NBA salaries, the disparity is glaring, leading many to argue that players like Clark are being undervalued by the league. However, this modest salary doesn't tell the whole story. Let's explore why Clark isn't losing sleep over her WNBA paycheck. While $70,000 might not scream superstar salary, it's actually just the beginning of Caitlin Clark's financial story. Here's the twist. The WNBA isn't just a paycheck, it's her secret weapon. The league offers something far more valuable than money: visibility. Think about it. Every time Clark steps onto the court, millions tune in. Her games dominate national broadcasts. Her highlight reels flood social media, and her name is on everyone's radar. This kind of exposure is a goldmine for marketing opportunities, turning her platform into a multi-million-dollar springboard.
Like, whatever really happens with Caitlin Clark, I would say her big thing is to be ready for the WNBA season. And people are like, why? She's only making $70,000 in the WNBA. What is the point of her worrying about that league rather than trying to push for other leagues and other ways of making more money? Because the WNBA is what's getting the most eyes.
Think about it. When Caitlin Clark sinks a deep three-pointer or threads an impossible pass, you're witnessing more than just incredible basketball. You're watching a brand come to life. Every crossover, every jaw-dropping assist, Every buzzer beater isn't just a highlight. It's another opportunity for Clark to show the world her magic. And trust me, the world is paying attention. So, how is Clark turning all this visibility into cash? That's where it gets really exciting. Her modest WNBA salary is just the beginning, opening the floodgates to a slew of opportunities off the court. We're talking about endorsement deals, speaking gigs, and partnerships that could eclipse her league earnings many times over. And then there's the game changer, the Unrivaled League.
And it has also been reported that Unrivaled 3-on-3 League offered Caitlin Clark significant equity in the league and a salary that is over $1 million. So this is the first time that we've heard of any money being thrown at her. We've heard that it would be a major deal. It would be a similar setup as to what Messi got.
You've probably heard the buzz. Some people are saying Clark should ditch the WNBA and join Unrivaled, where she could be raking in millions from the start. But here's the kicker. Clark turned it down. Clark's playing the long game here. Sure, Unrivaled might offer a fatter paycheck right out of the gate, but the WNBA provides something Unrivaled can't touch yet. A proven platform with a loyal fan base and major media deals that guarantee her visibility on a national scale. So, next time someone complains about Caitlin Clark's $70,000 WNBA salary, remember this. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Clark isn't just dominating the court, she's rewriting the playbook on how athletes build their brands. And trust me, this is only the beginning of what she's capable of. Clark's most valuable skill might not even be her basketball prowess. It's her ability to talk. But we're not talking about post-game interviews. No, Clark is raking in six figures for speaking engagements that take less time than a single quarter of basketball.
I think she's either one, if she shows up to somewhere, you're probably paying her $2,000 to $3,000 or $200,000 to $300,000 or it's free. I think she probably does a lot of things for free. That would be my prediction, is that if she wants to be somewhere and she just wants to help out, she'll do quite a few things for free. But if she's not doing it for free, I would say her cost is crazy high.
You heard that right. Caitlin Clark is absolutely dominating on stage 2. Her speaking engagements are becoming the stuff of legend, and the numbers are jaw-dropping. Let's break it down. Clark's virtual speaking fee kicks off at $100,000 for just 30 minutes of her time. In less time than it takes to watch half an episode of a sitcom, she's earning more than most people make in an entire year. And for in-person appearances, companies are shelling out anywhere between $200,000 and $300,000. That's the price of a house in some parts of the country for just one appearance. Clark has already done at least 6 speaking engagements in the past year alone. Do the math, and you're looking at potential earnings in the millions. And it's not just in-person events. These gigs are happening online too, with big-name companies ready to pay top dollar for her words. But why are companies willing to shell out so much just to hear Clark speak? It all comes down to her star power. Every time Clark steps onto the WNBA court, her profile gets bigger. She's not just an athlete, she's a brand, an inspiration, a role model. Companies aren't just paying for her time, they're paying for the attention she commands, the excitement she stirs, and the influence she holds.
And Iowa has Caitlin Clark, who's become this huge star. She's amazing, and she's getting all this attention, and some nasty press reporters are upset about it.
Did you catch what just happened? Megyn Kelly, yes, that Megyn Kelly, just made some explosive comments about the WNBA, and she's not holding back. She's calling out the league for treating Caitlin Clark like she's the enemy. Hard to believe, right? So, what exactly did Kelly say that's got the WNBA so stirred up? Her blunt remarks about Caitlin Clark have lit up the basketball world, sparking a huge reaction across the league. Kelly didn't mince words, and now her comments have everyone on edge. Let's dive into the details everyone's buzzing about.
But she came out to say her own scoring record stands despite Caitlin Clark beating it because I guess they didn't have 3-pointers when she was playing, which is just ridiculous.
Kelly didn't hold back when she criticized the WNBA for its treatment of Clark. She bluntly stated that what's happening to Clark is really that serious. Can you believe it? This isn't just some offhand comment. Kelly's words carry significant weight.
So she's getting a lot of hate from people like that. Of course, Jamel Hill has weighed in, like a lot of people taking shots at her.
You might be wondering, since when does Megyn Kelly care about basketball? And that's a fair question. She typically doesn't involve herself in sports drama. So why is she speaking out now? The reason is that what's happening to Clark is so outrageous that even Kelly felt compelled to voice her opinion.
She's been in the WNBA for 2 minutes. There's no reason to hate her other than the amount of attention she's getting and her skin color. I mean, would this be happening to a black Caitlin Clark?
No.
Getting the same amount of attention.
This is where things really heat up. Kelly revealed that some players are actively targeting Clark on the court. She's not referring to just tough defense or regular competition. She's saying that Clark is experiencing outright abuse. And get this, she claims the league is allowing it to happen. How wild is that?
And it's resulted in physical alterations on the court that don't get called as fouls, that the girls then deny were intentional. And Caitlin Clark always takes the high road. She never, points the finger, but it happened again.
But Kelly didn't stop there. She linked Clark's treatment to larger issues in women's sports. You know how Clark has been in the spotlight a lot recently? Well, Kelly made a shocking statement saying that.
Many black women inside the WNBA are resentful that this white woman came in and is getting all this attention.
That's a serious accusation, and it stirred up strong reactions on all sides. Kelly isn't just referring to fouls and rough play. She's claiming there's a significant amount of racial tension simmering beneath the surface of the WNBA. She believes Clark is right in the thick of it all.
The people weren't going, Jake, because they were homophobic, racists. That's why the other girls resent Caitlin getting attention, because she's not black.
You might be asking yourself if Kelly is correct about all this. That's the million-dollar question. One thing is certain, though. Her comments are prompting everyone to seriously examine what's really happening in the league. Kelly believes that Clark is turning the sport into something mainstream. And if that's the case, it seems not everyone is pleased about it.
These are the highest ratings in more than 10 years. And it is 100% because of Caitlin Clark.
Those are regular NBA ratings. Like if you get a couple million people watching an NBA game, you're pretty happy as a network guy. She is the Michael Jordan. Like I know you're not a major basketball
person.
I know. But she is the Michael Jordan of female basketball. Every single player in that league, every single coach, manager, janitor, anyone who has anything to do with that league should be bowing at the altar of this woman. She is transforming the sport into something mainstream, which is what the WNBA was set out to do. And I think it started in 1994 or 1995.
This isn't just some drama. It's a major earthquake rocking the WNBA. And believe me, we're only witnessing the initial tremors. The aftershocks from Kelly's bombshell are going to be felt for a long time.